Hello crafters, welcome to my channel if you're new here, welcome back if you're a subscriber. Today I want to share with you how I made these really, what I think are fun snow globe type cards, and I've used some products in my stash to make these. I think they make a lovely little card. Now some of them I've done where you can see straight through, and some of them I've done and I've put acetate on there, and this is a snowy acetate, and I think they look lovely. I've used some products from my stash for all of these. 2 have the acetate, 3 of them don't have the acetate, and the products that I have used are some made to surprise products. So I have used the snow globe die set. This piece here has given me my snow globe. Now there's 3 different styles that you can use in the made to surprise range. These are the 3 that I have, and what I've done is I've taken some things from all 3 of them. So I've used the bow in this one, the wreath die set. I've used the brick wall in this, the North Pole die set. And I have used the wreath here in the snow globe die set. Now I've also used the little houses from this, as well as the trees, the bow from this as well, and the snow that you can see here on top, that comes from this one, the North Pole die set, and you can see it just here. So if you have these, you'll be able to use them. If not, use what you have in your stash. A nesting circle die will work to make your snow globe frame. You can emboss it using any embossing folder you have. A bow from your stash would look lovely. If you have some little houses, you can put them in. Now you can have these, so your little houses, you can cut them out to shape yourself. A couple of little Christmas trees. And then this is basically a rectangle piece, just round off both ends. So you could make these without these dies using products that you have in your stash, or you could just be a little bit inventful with what you use. So I'm going to make another one of these. I'm going to make this style, and I'm going to do it in pink because I have someone in mind who very much loves a kitsch Christmas. So I'm going to do it in pink. So let's have a look now at what I'm going to use to make this card. A gentle reminder, you might be seeing my videos, but you're not subscribed. And if you're enjoying my videos, I would love for you to click on the subscribe button, as well as ding the bell so that you'll see all my videos in future. I have a circle frame here, and again, this is done using one of my circles from my stash. Now if you don't have them and you want to measure, then this circle measures about 5.5 inches in width, and then the circle inside is about 4 1/4, a little over. I know Craft Stash, they do nested circle dies that have scalloped edges. You could use those as well. There is some embossing on this, but because it's a holographic cardstock, you don't really see it, but it's there. You can just get a glimpse of it depending on what way the light hits it, but you don't need to have this die. Okay, so the next thing is the bottom of the die, and if you want to do this using what you have in your stash, it's 1 inch by just over 6, about 6 1/4. And like I said, you could come in 1/2 inch from the top and then just curve it over, and then you can just use some dies to put Merry Christmas or whatever you want. These ones are, I love it, have a cool Yule. I think it's very different, you know. So that is going to be the bottom of our snow globe. So for inside our snow globes, I've die cut out using a nesting die, some white cardstock. Now this is a kind of a textured cardstock, and I use that because I thought it would give the impression of snow. And I've just die cut out a circle, which is basically a little bit smaller than my frame. And then I've cut into it, and it's given me 2 pieces then. And what I did was I cut this one down. The front one is going to be a little bit smaller than the back piece. I've also cut out another circle, and I've done that in some black glitter cardstock, and the glitter in this, it's an unshed, but it's a holographic glitter, which I think is so cool. So it looks like little stars shining in the background. So that's going to be my night sky. I've also got a piece of cardstock. Now for my card and base, let's go through the measurements for this. This is a card base that I have made myself, and it measures 8 inches wide by 5 3/4 in height. And the reason for that is I want to allow some room for my bow, so it can peep over the top of the card. You can just see it there. But this is going to fit into a 6 by 8 envelope. And you can make those yourselves. If you have the envelope punch board, you can make your envelope yourself. Onto that then, I have a piece of white cardstock, and this one is embossed using a madetosurprise bubbles embossing folder, which I love. And this piece measures 7 3/4 by 5 1/2, and that's going to sit on the top like so. So that's our card base and our pieces. Like I said, I've a little bow to go on there. I've a couple of houses as well. I've just die cut out loads of little houses to go on there. And what I've done is I've done them as a silhouette, so they're in black, although you can see the windows. I took a white gel pen and went over where the roof is, along the cross, under the windows, and I don't know if you can see it, but I think it gives it that touch of snow look to the little houses, and I've that done on all of them. I've also taken a 1-inch circle punch, and I've punched out this piece here. I've cut a piece off it because it's going to get tucked in just up here, so I've cut a bit off it. And what I've also done is I've taken some stencils that I have. They're the Tim Holtz moon mask stencils, and I have stenciled a little bit over that to give it the look of the moon. And then I've gone over it in a grey ink around the outside. And other than that, then I have some trees that I've die cut out. I've taken a couple of them. I've just done with my marker little dots on it in red, and then I've gone over it with my white gel pen, so it looks like they're little lights on our Christmas tree. So that's all the pieces and bits to this. I'm going to go ahead now and I'm going to assemble the card. Okay, so I have my embossed folder down. I'm after getting a little bit of smear on it, but you won't see it, so I'm not too bothered. So you can see here, if I go to put my circle down and I keep it within the embossed bit, it's too long. Now I could have it come up a little bit because I'm going to make a 6 by 8 envelope, and that could then sit there. But what I have chosen to do is just cut a little bit off the bottom. So that's what I'm going to do with this. And I can decide then how much or how little. I might just take another little bit off that. And then this will sit across the bottom there. And what I'll do is I'll make sure it's evenly inside that. And then this will sit down on top like so. So what I want to do first is I'm going to add one of my little snowbanks, and I'm going to add this smaller one, and I'm going to put that there. Now I'm just going to cut a straight edge off the bottom of this as well, and it's just to make it easier to line up with the bottom there of my snow globe panel. So that'll sit on there like so, and you can have this as high up or as low down as you want. I think I'll cut another bit off. Really, it's just down to you and the aesthetics of how you want it to look. So I'm going to add a little bit of glue along the sides, across the bottom and up the side there. And I'm using my collal glue. I had to it had a bit of a snotty tip on it. So I took it out and cleaned it, and that way then I had a better pour, because it was gumming up. It wasn't coming out as quick as I would like. Now, so I have this piece on here, and what I want to do is I'm going to bring in, this piece is going to sit over the top. So if we imagine it here like so, and this piece on here. So at this point in the video, Ghost started barking at the postman. I paused the video, went out, got the post, came back in, sat down, and started assembling the card. And it was only at this point I realized that I hadn't pressed record. So you can see what I've done here. I've added my 2 snowdrifts and my background night scene onto my frame. And you can have this all glued down as one piece, or you can put some foam, we'll say, between the first snowdrift and the second one. So it's really up to yourself. I know a lot of people are going to be posting, so they don't want to add dimensions. So you don't have to. Now, I do have some snow between the first and second snowdrift, but it's a really thin, like 2 millimeters thick snow. Thick snow. That's what we have outside the window. Would you believe it? Today is the 21st of November here in County Mayo, and the scene outside my window is like something you'd see in Sweden. It's just beautiful. Anyway, I digress, because I've snow in the brain. So yeah, I'm adding down my little houses. I'm gluing them down using my Burley Art glue. It's the Burley Art Precision Glue. That and the Collal glue, which is a solvent glue, are the 2 glues I mostly use. So I'm popping down some of my houses. I'm getting inspiration from the card on the left, but I'm not sticking to that particularly. And you can see that it's just inspiration. I've my bow stuck down. Now the center of the ribbon is glued in place, but under the actual bow itself on the left and right, I've put again some thin foam just to give it a bit of dimension. I've also stuck in my moon. I've stuck down my glitter snow that sits on the shoulders of our snow globe there on the top left and right. And then I'm just adding some of the trees in as well. And I think it's coming along nicely. I'm absolutely delighted with it. I'll add a little bit of Spectrum Noir sparkle pen on the trees and on the roofs of the houses, as well as my white gel pen. I've stuck down the little heart that came out of the house itself there in the top middle. And now I'm going to add a sentiment to the inside of the card. And that's the handy thing with the stamping platform. I can do it even when my card is assembled, but you know, be clever. Do this before you start. When you've glued your embossed panel onto the front, do your stamping then. But you know me, I'm a reckless crafter. I like to live dangerously. My thing is, if I mess it up, I can just cut another panel, stamp on that and stick that on the inside. So I'm putting a lovely Made to Surprise Christmas sentiment on this. Now it doesn't stamp very well at the beginning, and you've seen that I did a little bit of CPR in it. Now I wasn't too heavy on it because I don't want the letters to splay out, but with a little bit of pressure it looks really well, and I'm delighted with that. You can also see at the bottom there I've stuck one of my extra little houses and a little Christmas tree. I think it just brings the front to the inside. And you'll see one of my little trees slid down. I forgot to stick it in place. So I'll stick that in, and there we go. There is our lovely card, of which I made 6. And I do love this. I think it's a really cool card. All it is die cutting. And sure, you can be sitting down watching a YouTube video or listening to a podcast or whatever while you're doing that. So yeah, I hope if you make this card, you'll share it with me on all the socials. And yeah, so now that's it. Let's have a look at all 6 cards we've made. If you've enjoyed my video, I hope you'll give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're not a subscriber to my channel, Blonde Cards and Crafts, and ding the bell so that you'll be notified next time I share a video with you. You can share your makes with me on my Facebook group. It's called Your Cards and Crafts. And If you'd like to support my channel, you can click the Super Thanks button down below and that will help greatly. So that's it for now, folks. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you all again soon. Bye bye.